Welcome to Amy Kardashian and the Expert Show, where the experts share their knowledge, wisdom, and powerful insight to help you transform your business and personal life. I am your host, Amy Kardashian, not Kardashian. I have a great and amazing guest with me today. His name is Christoph J. Wyman, and he is going to talk about how to always create five-star customer experience. And if you have a business, you want to really tune into this segment and see what he's going to share with us. So welcome, Christoph.
Thank you, Amy. I am excited and grateful to be here.
Well, it's
This
nice
is fantastic.
to have you. It's very nice to have you.
Thank you.
And I always have experts because we want to help people in their businesses.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
If you have any business, they have customers.
Yes.
So first, tell us a little bit more about yourself. I know you're an author and a speaker, and what else do you do?
And what else do? I am a happy husband, a proud father, and a proud puppy daddy.
Oh, that's nice. That's always nice.
Yes,
okay.
yes. And I've been in Las Vegas for 5 years. My first book, called Getting to Wow, Everybody Wins with 5-Star Service, came out 3 years ago. And I am growing my career as an author, speaker, and I call myself a service elevator.
We are, like you were saying earlier, before we started, we are all serving.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. And my goal and my mission is to help elevate the service of any business that wants to increase the revenue by really simple 3 things: attract more customers, serve them better, and keep them for life.
So what is it, how would you attract more customers? What's the step they need to learn?
Well, you have to become a 5-star business. And a 5-star business is a business that delivers always, consistently, a 5-star customer service experience. It doesn't mean that we get it right every time. It doesn't mean that we're gonna have perfection, but having a certain standard of excellence that we train our team for, we train our staff for, that we want to deliver to our customers, whether that's in a restaurant business, whether it's in real estate, whatever. Like you said, if you have a business, you have customers, and you want to treat them like you would like to be treated, that you welcome them, that they feel appreciated, that we use this word called valued. They're valued customers, right? But do the customers actually feel that they're valued, that they're appreciated, that they're acknowledged?
And how the customer, how the owner of the business, he should go by that? Is it training with his employees?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have a friend who actually wrote the foreword for my next book, Shep Hyken, who's an industry expert. He's been doing this for 20 years, what I started doing 2 years ago. And he says, training is not something you did, it's something you do. It has to be an ongoing program, right? Because you have to keep your team inspired, motivated, engaged. Help them know that what they do is valuable, that they're giving value as they serve their customers, whatever their role or position is. So
kind of like they're serving as well.
Exactly.
They're doing something nice to other people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
And what would you recommend for someone have a medium business and they want to grow it? They want to grow it because of the customer service is good and now they're growing. But the more employees you have, the more you're dealing with different personalities.
Sure.
And sometimes a business owner, not necessarily, they have the skill to connect with their employees. So what would you recommend on that?
Call me.
Call me.
But it's the truth. If, you know, so for example, I do serve restaurants a lot. That's not my only niche, but that's my first niche that I started serving, coming in and doing training for restaurants. And oftentimes an owner would say to me, Christoph, why would I hire you to come in and train or teach or inspire my staff? I've got my general manager. I've got my floor managers. And the reason is because that's a completely, as you said, it's a different skill set. If I had the skill sets of being a general manager, then I would be doing that instead of being an author and a speaker, right? And if they were a speaker and trainer, then they would be doing that. And their job, their role is actually to keep the operations running, right? It's not to be training their staff moment to moment when they're in the midst. They got to keep that ship afloat.
And would you agree with this? Sometimes, you know how our parents tell us something and we don't listen.
Yes.
Right? and we listen to somebody stranger,
Yes.
they say the same thing,
Yes.
but then, they listen to them. Is more effective, would you say?
Yes, and
to
you know
listen
why?
to
You
somebody
talked
else?
about it in the beginning, in the intro. What kind of people do you interview? What do you call them?
Experts.
Experts.
Yes.
And you know the definition of an expert?
Of course.
An
yeah.
outsider.
An outsider.
Yes.
It is true.
So I
never-
come in and I say to the
Yes.
team, to the staff, and inspire and motivate and give them training, and I say the same stuff that the manager has been telling them, but
saying.
they don't hear it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's like listening to the parents. But then when the fun uncle comes from California and tells the teenager what the father has been telling him for years, he says, hey, Dad, you know what Uncle Joe just told me? And the father says, oh my gosh,
That
I've been telling you that for years.
That happened between husband and wife. too,
Yes.
Right? I tell my husband something for 25 years, and then he comes over. Oh, I heard this and this. I think I should do
I
that.
read
I'm
this
like,
somewhere.
Oh, really? I've been saying for 25 years.
Yeah, I think we're in the right
So
same
it is-
mindset.
It,
yeah.
it does affect the way they listen. So when we come back, we're going to talk more about what they need to know.
Sure.
Why is it important to the businesses to really listen to what you're saying and learn from you, and how they could apply that to their business. So we will be right back.
Thank you for calling Denim Revival.
Hate to say goodbye to your favorite jeans? Well, now you don't have to, because Denim Revival is here for you. Mail us your jeans and our professionals will fix it right up. We offer you all kinds of alteration services, including invisible repairs, let-outs, taperings, and original hemming, or even have your own custom-made jeans. Quoted the best denim repair shop by GQ, Vogue Magazine, and LA Times. Denim Revival, your search for alteration and repair ends here.
And to you it ain't pretty little thing. Howdy, your baby.
Welcome back, and we are talking how to have your customers experience 5-star experience. And that was a great insight that you shared with us. And I think probably a lot of them right now are saying, yeah, makes sense. Why should I do everything? I'm running my business. I'm running my employees. They have different things they need. But we need someone from outside give us different perspective.
Sure.
How important that is in their business to have someone from outside?
I believe it's super important, because also what it does is it validates subconsciously what the owner, what the managers have actually been telling to their staff. So now they like, oh wait,
Confirmation.
That's confirmation, absolutely. And here's one thing that I say, the end result or the desired outcome of any interaction with a customer is always one thing and one thing only:
What is that?
a positive feeling. A
Yes.
positive feeling. Yes, you want them to buy more. Yes, you want them to come back. Yes, you want them to tell their friends. But all those things will happen naturally if I come into your place of business and I feel
Home.
home. I love it. Perfect, exactly.
That's good.
And so when, if I may,
Sure.
so every time a customer interacts with a business, they go on what's called an emotional journey. So let's say I'm going to buy a car. I have a certain emotional set point or starting point. So I'm excited because I'm going to buy a new car, but I also might be distrusting because I don't know if I'm going to get a good deal, right? And so we have to understand, have empathy, be able to understand and read our customers, feel what they're feeling, and hopefully elevate that feeling. We can either positively or negatively affect their emotional journey. And that's from the energy, from the way that we engage them, from our emotions, from having empathy, all these different things.
So if I'm hiring someone and they're not here in Vegas or somewhere, they might fly you to them. But if they can't do that, what would you say for the customer who's looking for someone like yourself, an expert, they need to look for to get the right person to teach their employees? What they need to look for a person like you? What the qualification
I think one of the
needs
first
to have?
qualifications is a person has to have a passion. We've all been to a training or a presentation where somebody's doing a PowerPoint and they're just reading it, and there's no life, there's no enthusiasm, there's no passion. They're just delivering information. I think when somebody meets me, when I have a moment to sit with somebody, they know that I love service. My goal, I say our highest calling is to use our gifts in service to others, right? And so anybody who knows me for a few seconds, I think they know that Christoph, my desire, my passion is about service and helping you reach that level.
And also someone who can connect with their employees,
Sure,
right?
sure.
You know how to really emotionally connect
Exactly.
with them. So that's a skill the person needs to have,
right,
to
right.
get them.
Because
So
it's
they
not
need
just
to look for
conveying
that, yeah.
information. It's even those employees. So those employees are the owner's customers. They're the internal customers. So they have to have a wow experience. They have to feel like they are valued, they're appreciated. Who's more important, the customer or the employee? Customer, we think first,
yeah,
but
but
actually
employee.
it's the employee.
Yeah.
Because if we want them to deliver 5-star service, 5-star experience, they have to know what that looks like and what that feels like themselves.
Absolutely. It's like they say, if you're not happy, you can make somebody else happy.
Exactly.
How could you make
Right.
somebody else happy? So
Exactly.
you have to start from the core of your business to make sure your employees feel home in order to make somebody else feel home. And you can come in and really help them to feel home before you teach them what they need to do. It's automatically they will find their way if they feel home. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And when I come into a place of business, I'm a guest. But one of the very first things that I do, unless we're crunched for time, but I walk around and I shake the hands of each of the people that I'm going to be speaking to in front of. Now, I haven't spoken in a room that's 10,000 people, so I
Sure.
wouldn't be able to shake everybody's hands. But if I'm talking to a group of 30, 40, 50 people, I'll go around and shake everybody's hand and make a connection with them. So now when I stand up in front of the room and I start to share some information, I'm not a stranger. We've had some kind of a connection, and maybe that's a start of having some trust between each other.
Now, there is some employees, for example, would say, why I need to learn that? I'm a good customer. I do good customer service. I'm doing my job the way I should do, and I know that. That's all that matters to me. Why should I have someone? Would you recommend the manager or the boss or the owner of the business, make them feel before you even come in, make them feel it's not because I'm teaching you something, it's a value, educational.
Sure.
And it's coming from loving
Love
you.
and empowerment.
Yes.
It's not about coming in and saying,
And
hey,
teaching you.
here's what you're doing wrong. Here's what you're failing on. It's, people who are successful, businesses that are doing great, they want to continue to do great, right? They want to be on the cutting edge. So it's not pointing fingers. Sometimes it's really just bringing to mind what they already know, reminding them. And I can see when I'm standing in front of a room and I say something, they go, they literally like, oh, we used to do that.
Yeah.
We got away from that, but we're going to start doing that again. Because there's no rocket science. It's simple. It's how you engage the people. Be friendly, smile.
Connect with your eyes.
Connect with your
Right?
eyes. But just because somebody is great at their chosen profession, let's say I'm an amazing auto mechanic. Mm-hmm. My business, or I'm doing very well on that, and I decide to go out and open my own shop. Well, I'm great as an auto mechanic, but that doesn't mean just because I open a business that I automatically know all the components of great customer service.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. So basically your success, what you're saying, your success comes not from what you're serving, because a lot of people serving the same thing like you're serving.
Right, right.
So what is the difference between you and someone else have the same service? Is your customer service? Is that what you're saying?
You're asking me what separates me from others who are doing?
No.
Okay.
Is that what it is? So if I have a business, why should I have someone?
Yes, it's right.
It's the
because
customer service.
we have Bank A and Bank B, they're both selling the same products.
The same product.
You have a Mexican restaurant and another Mexican restaurant, they're selling the same products, right? So yes, it is the customer experience that is the only thing that can separate you
from someone
and
else.
It's the only actual aspect of the business that you can control.
So it's very, very a valuable investment
Yes.
to do that. because you have to be different than the other, your
Absolutely.
next door or
Yes.
across the street. And when you invest on your employees, you get way more than when you invest.
The return
what
is
you
way
invest.
more than just financially. Absolutely.
Now, if you don't mind, I want you to look at this camera. I want you to give them your website and how they can contact you.
Sure, absolutely. What a great privilege and pleasure. So my website is very simple, I think. If you zoom in on my name on the book, it's ChristophJWyman.com. ChristophJWyman.com. Or if we want to do it the old-fashioned way, I love a phone call. You may call me at 702-848-8955.
That is
because
great.
that's a way to connect in terms of customer service, right?
Yes.
Remember the old
Yes.
days when we used to call people all the time?
You have a different, you ask different questions, you receive what you want to receive, you know how to guide them exactly in the right direction.
And may I just add one last
Sure.
thing? And I commented this before we came on air. It's about the feeling. And right now, I am your customer. I am your guest.
Absolutely, yes.
And I said to everybody that is here in the studio, there's an energy. And I don't think it's the lights and the paint on the walls. There's something about how you and your team make people feel when they walk into this place.
That is
And
a
I
great
have not been here very
compliment. Thank
long. So this is what we want to emulate no matter what kind of business we are working in to serve our
Absolutely.
customers in that way.
And I felt the same way with you. You could feel the passion, how much you want to really appreciate other people's services. So I appreciate you being here.
Thank
you
you.
for
Thank
coming.
you so much.
And we hope to have you again.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you, Amy.
And for all of you who's watching, thank you. And I really encourage you to stay focused on your purpose. Now, when we come back, I have another great guest who's going to share his wisdom with us. So stay tuned.